Warning, Shut Up Let's Talk contains some rad but heavy language and adult themes and may not be suitable for audiences under 18. Viewer discretion is advised. That was the most sweetie pie gesture. Shut Up, Let's Talk, episode 124, I believe, folks. What up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, everybody? Shut Up, Let's Talk. Joined tonight with the homies from Born Beneath. You guys, we're hanging out tonight with Renee, we're hanging out with Danny, and we're hanging out with Mike of Born Beneath.
What's going on, Alizar? Thank you for having us.
Thank you for coming by, guys. The string section of Born Beneath.
Yes,
that's right.
Hell yeah!
I appreciate you guys coming by, man. How's life treating you guys since since everything went to shit last year? I've never met two of you guys, so me and Danny go. Me and Danny
way
go back.
That's why. Okay, so Mike and I will take this because you already met Danny.
Yeah.
So. No, well, everything's great, man. Everything's great. Life is good now that things are kind of starting to go back semi to normal. We're playing shows again. We've got a show coming up on the 19th. So we're super ecstatic about this. It's exciting. So
I love it, man. And you guys got riffs for days, by the way, man. When I started listening to the tunes, I was just like, wow, who's writing all these tunes?
Well, I'd say Renee and Lou wrote most of these songs on the first album. They wrote it, and then they brought me in like what 3-4 years ago, 3 years ago. I don't know.
2007.
Sweet, man.
2000, so and I brought it, and I wrote the bass licks, and we recorded that album. But I mean, ever since, we've been writing together and creating this new album, this next album that's coming out, and we have a single that's coming out. I'm not going to say the name of it yet, but it's really good. But I mean, we just ended up working really good together and writing together, and then we brought Daniel in, which just created more to the foundation of everything that we're doing. And I couldn't be more happy to what we're doing right now, what we're writing, and the successfulness of what we're creating and what we're getting ready to record.
Because Danny, I don't think Danny needs an introduction to anyone in the South Florida scene. If he,
Thanks, dude.
That's a good
fucking
thing.
Nice.
Do you think I'm dissing you? This is good. I'm telling you that if you've seen Macronium play, you know who Danny is.
It's true.
He's the guitarist of Macronium.
It's the wall of sound.
Yeah, man. I know we just started this thing, and this is normally where towards the end I'll be like, "Oh, hey, Danny, you're not so bad after all." I'll just start off with that. Okay. So, Danny, big props to you. I've always thought he's a great guitarist and a stand-up guy. So when I talk to him, before shows, after shows, I'm like, "Oh, he's not too bad." And then next thing you know, I'm fucking chilling with him and this and that. And then I would playfully tell him, "Yo, how do you feel about playing jam with us? Let's play some guitar, and see what happens." And he told me straight up, "Yo, I'm scared shitless." No, I'm kidding.
It's true.
No.
Hey, this is before he asked me if we wanted to bring another guitar player in the band.
Because Mike was opposed to the idea of a second guitar player.
Opposed. Yeah. I did not want another guitar player in the band. It was only a 4-piece band, not a 5-piece.
Born Beneath has always gone back and forth. Yes, about a fifth member, especially obviously if it's a fifth member, it's gonna be a second guitarist.
I wasn't happy about it, but
what's the reason for no second guitar player? It's just too riffy? Does it become too?
I've just been used to playing with a 3-piece, 4-piece band my whole life since I was 10 years old. I never really, and it's not about, territorial.
It is. He doesn't want to share the stage.
Wait, let me say something. If it is about territorial, I asked Renee, I said, well, he can play on your side of a stage. And what Renee said? Hell no.
Because it doesn't make sense, Mike.
It doesn't make sense.
Aesthetically, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, okay, aesthetically.
No band has two guitarists on one side.
So anyways, no, but I was like, I was always I'm like, no, we need more. I understood it. I got it. I'm like, and Dan came in, and he really just came in and developed and learned and just made these songs better than they were before. So I was wrong. Not I was wrong. I was just so happy.
It's an experiment that we
growth.
It's an experiment that turned into the next chapter.
I accepted it, and you know what? It became something positive.
And things evolve, man.
Yeah,
things evolve.
So I'm not.
Because I remember back in like 2018, 2019, I would always, like I said, riff with Daniel, just saying, like, hey, let's jam, let's see what happens, and he would always say, like, oh, one day maybe, let's see.
Yeah.
And it just fell to the back burner, but it was always like an idea that was in the stratosphere, and no one ever, I guess, pursued it. But it was always on everyone's mind.
I was opposed to it.
Because it's tough, man. We play very, like, I don't know. It's just it's not everyone can, I guess, play it, you know. But I knew Danny was obviously he's into extended range guitars, 7 and 8 strings, which I do. So I would see him play, and I know his thought process with like tone and gear and all
We
that
just
shit.
have like common taste in music.
Yeah, and then
like,
our
it's
people
very-
we listen to.
Yeah.
I told you they're two lesbians.
Anyway,
anyway,
that's
yeah.
a beautiful thing. But you know what? Every good guitar duo should be. One of my favorite bands is Lamb of God, and those two guitar players work so well together. And you know what? There's something about two guitar players playing at the same exact time that just fattens up the sound so nicely.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree.
There
100%.
was because with Macronium we were always against having a second guitar player. We tried it for a bit, but it just became like extra noise. And Macronium shit's really easy to play, but it's also like I'm sure these guys felt it when they wanted to stay the standard guitar, bass, drums, instrumental section, where you just want to keep it to one person. Whoever's writing the song, you want to teach it to one person. You don't want to have to take your time per person or whatever. So I knew that they had that sentiment because I had that sentiment with Macronium, and so it wasn't until quarantine that I started to really listen to more prog shit or gent. I hate that word, but gent shit, like the stuff that like Animals as Leaders does. I dove deep into that. Like bands like Monuments. I love Monuments, and like the two guitar shit started to kind of make more sense to me because it's like I've said this before, but like Wayne Static from Static X, those two guitar players, when they would play, they don't really do too many things that are different. It's two guitar players playing the same exact shit. And Wayne Static has been on record saying that there's nothing heavier than two guitar players playing the same shit, even if it doesn't contribute musically where you're being diverse. As long as-
Sonically, it's everything.
Sonically, if you're just getting pounded, it just sounds huge.
Yeah.
So through quarantine and everything, it just kind of seemed like I was turned on more to that prog shit and like the layers that you can create. And I mean, fuck, dude. It's just so much cooler when some person comes up with an idea and someone else hears it differently than you do, and then you make shit from that.
Well, I get it from the music of Born Beneath. You know, hearing the album, you know, recently and just kind of getting it into my ears for the first time and absorbing it because I haven't had a chance to catch you guys live. You know, so
19th, you should be there.
hey, I would love to. You know, when I listened to the music, man, the first thing I thought was, I can't wait to watch this live, because hearing the riffs, you know, is one thing about a band. Like a lot of the gent stuff these days. What I don't like about gent these days is that it loses me sometimes. You know,
Sure.
it's so rhythmic. It feels like I'm driving on the highway all the time. Where it's
It
just
requires concentration.
yeah, you know, it's got groove, but you're always going 70, 80. You know.
Yeah, it's kind of like we were talking about this earlier before we started. Was what's one of the things I like about Monument specifically is because there's always a motif. Even though there's a lot of like odd signatures and polyrhythms and shit, there's always a motif. There's always something that comes back around, whether it's a hook and a chorus or a line that the guitars are playing. There's always something that comes back, and you have to, I feel like you have to have that in a song. Not every band can pull off the riff salad where it's just smash after smash after smash of just riff, 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 riff. The bands that tried to do that and pull that shit off, it just sounds like it loses my attention. Kind of like what happens when I hear someone solo too much, like an Ingve or some shit. I'm just like, God, this is fucking.
Yeah, he
I
repeats
start to
himself.
lose.
You watch Ingve for 15 minutes and then you're like, all right, I've seen enough.
Yeah, just becomes like, this is okay. You're great, but fuck, dude, it just sounds like spaghetti.
Let me hear
Well,
some
you know,
music.
you bring up a good point that it reminded me that people that go to concerts, those are the real fans, because they're ready to hear an hour to 2 hours of just that same band. And even if, and I feel like almost most bands can get repetitive if you really sit down and have to listen to it for an hour and a half, right?
Like stoner metal.
Well, look,
It can get
I went to see Buckethead 2 years ago, and you know what that was? It was just a bunch of guitarists in the crowd.
Arms folded.
No, not even, yeah, you know what? Arms folded, but not like judging. It was more like arms folding, and then they're just like,
Respectful.
yeah, they're just nodding their head and eyes open.
That
Just
guy's
like,
that guy's a fucking anomaly, bro. He's so amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Well, listen.
he gave me his
I'm
bucket
not
off
talking
his
about
head.
Buckethead. I'm talking about Born Beneath. Talking about Born Beneath right now. What we do
Yes.
is what we write. Our songs have always different changes. Everything is different. We don't sound the same as every other band. We don't have the growl. Lou has some of the best vocals in the world.
Yeah.
He goes from lows, highs. I mean, he screams, lows, growls. I mean, what we do is we create all that and we put it together. We put metal, heavy metal, death metal. We put it all in one song in every single song that we do.
Yeah.
What we do is we don't sound exactly the same as every other band that's out there fucking playing.
True.
It's just
True.
not, that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to sound. I go to a show, I see every band going, "Bleh,"
Yeah, dude.
and that's all you hear. I mean, they're great bands. Don't get me wrong. I mean, fucking some talented motherfuckers playing guitar, bass, drums. insane shit. But what we do is we take all that together and we collaborate it and we convert it into something and create a song that has all those diversities, everything in that one song. And each song is always different.
Yeah.
With Born Beneath, we don't sound the same with each song. Our songs are all different. And even through those songs, every part's different. We have so many changes in songs. And I'm not saying, you know, that's how we write. That's what we do. We create something that people don't do.
Right.
Everybody can write fucking and just
I know that song.
You know, so, I wrote that just now. So, but I mean, you know,
I'm gonna need you to
that's
cut this so I can listen to it later.
Yeah.
Right.
Tab that
Get
shit
copyright
up.
strike right now from just that vocal.
But I mean, what we write together, we all come with ideas and we get in the studio together and we just create these songs.
Yeah.
And I know every band says that, but our shit doesn't sound like every other band.
I'm
No, it
gonna
doesn't.
piggyback off of him real quick. There was a show that I went to in Tampa. These guys were supposed to play it, but they couldn't because their drummer got sick, right? COVID or whatever.
Oh, God.
Shout out to Gary, our HR department. And so I went up there, and Godrot was playing, who we're playing with, also on the 19th. Check it out.
Sweet.
And so every band that was out there was the same shit. Like 4 counts on the hi-hat. Every song was him. I'm like, oh, okay, well, this band should be different. And I'm like, fuck. God Rock comes on, who doesn't sound like that. They're very like, they're like their own like 90s inspired sludge doom shit. Matt is an amazing songwriter.
Shout out to Matt.
Amazing songwriter. Very underrated. That's a band that's underrated. God Rot. Check
Shout
them
out to Godrot, folks.
Underrated band.
God dash rot.
Let's get them on the show sometime.
Underrated band. So they come in with their hooks and their melody and their singing, and the crowd at this venue just goes, and you can see them just kind of creeping forward. And before you know it, everybody was just like, it's a 3-piece band, and they're just like, they're just looking like, fuck. Because after a while, it's just, bro, like, what the fuck, bro?
It gets repetitive, man.
I feel like I'm listening to this. It's like you're hitting, like you said, being on the road driving. It's like you're going off and you're hitting the fucking
The little
strips
thing on the side.
you know, and that's cool, but to an extent, bro.
No, I'm with you, man.
People try hard to
I
get
feel
there,
like that's
and
where you were
then
going
that's
with
all
that.
they do.
I was, sir.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's what I'm happy about with you guys is that, you know, the big theme of today's episode, folks, you know, and by the way, folks, hi. It's been a long time since we've had time to hang out with you folks. I've been so busy, you know, trying to get to know the band so far that, you know, we haven't had a chance to just welcome you guys back to the show. It's such a pleasure having everybody into the new studio. Hope you guys like the new place, guys.
Thank you, sir.
You know, feel at home. Feel at home. We're drinking beers. We're having a good time. And what I was interested in today is talking about how
Eating cookies.
drinking
Let's
beers.
not forget selfless plug. Natasha made this.
Christmas came early.
Hi, babe.
Well, how can we bring the
She'll
rock
like that,
stars?
right?
How can we bring rock stars back, guys? And what I wanted to talk to you guys about is, what do you view yourselves at as a band? Are you guys rock stars, or are you guys those down home type of dudes that just happen to play some instruments and make some badass riffs? What is the vibe?
Yes,
Put my
Mikey.
hand up like I'm in a classroom right now.
Michael,
I'm
please.
gonna
Michael
take this
Rogers.
one first.
Michael Rogers.
No, I'm not a rock star. I'm a person that loves to play music. I love just creating with people and just making something out of nothing and presenting it to people in front of us and having that vibe back and just having that wonderful feeling. I'll never be a rock star. I'm not a rock star. I'm Mike Rogers, and I'll always be Mike Rogers. It doesn't matter if I'm a rock star or I'm not. I have the best guys in the world to play with right now. I have the best band in the world, Born Beneath. It's the best thing I've ever had. It's the most happiest
Fuck
thing I've ever
yeah.
had. So that's what I'm
I
at.
like to hear, man. Cheers to that. Can we cheers? To
Is
that?
there a mic that he can drop?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Can we cheers to that? That's good
No
shit, man.
pun intended.
Thank you very
Mike.
much.
That's what it should be, man.
Oh,
And you know-
nope. Oh, it was your beer. You put it down and it
Oh,
was
Christ! Oh,
almost.
right to
It
the
was
edge.
almost.
This is
That's good luck in
that's
40
art
seconds.
right there. This is me on like Friday right before work, like, just right before I'm getting up. But anyway, I'm really interested in getting rock stars back into the scene, guys. Because
Yeah,
you know
man.
what? To me, you guys are the rock bands. You guys are the band nearby. You guys are the ones making those riffs. You're up on the stage. We're watching. And me as a consumer, I'm so I miss having people to look up to that are, you know, these dudes. I want posters of you guys on my fucking wall. You know what I mean? Like, I really do. I really do. You know what I mean? Because to me, that's
raise your standards.
That's the good. Well,
Jesus Christ, dude.
you know what I mean?
I mean, physically speaking.
I mean, you know, hey, in a motivational way, right back at you, because you know, you guys have it. You guys have what it takes to be on somebody's wall. You know, some dude who's 16, 17, trying to pick up his first fucking guitar, listening to those riffs. That's who I give a fuck about. Because you know what? At the end of the day, when it comes down to, like, we can make music and have all the fun we want for the art, but if we're not also doing anything for the industry, we're also just kind of just standing around doing nothing.
We have to support.
And the industry matters, man. Like, the guitars you play, like, I think it's important for the. It's not that they even have to endorse you or sponsor you or whatever the you know the situation is. It's just a fact that if you're making a badass riff on that thing, when somebody who doesn't know how to play it sees you and they think, damn, I need to pick that thing up. You know, what am I? My shit's dusty. I got to pick that thing up. I got to learn that riff. How am I gonna? Let me DM him and ask him what that riff is. You know. That's what it's all about, and that's what, you know, Linkin Park, who was one of my favorite bands growing up, and I was a kid. What I liked about them the most was the fact that I learned that they would be in chat rooms talking to their fans before they were famous.
Yeah,
they'd be in AOL chat rooms being like, "Hey guys, we're just trying to make it. Like, check our stuff out." You know,
I heard that they don't do that anymore.
Jesus Christ.
That's really bad.
Well, ever since the commas rolled into the paycheck, you know.
I think that's something that was cool about the MySpace era bands, right? Like the Suicide Silences and was it that Mice of Men or whatever the fuck, and all these other bands that they started off basically like Enter Shikari and all these bands. They came into the fold because they were able to post their music on just fucking MySpace. And when you went to the band page, there was 5 songs you could listen to. Easily digestible shit. But, you know, dude, you fucking message somebody and there they are. Like, they just respond. Really cool story. When I got into Suicide Silence, right when I bought my first 7-string, I remember I wrote their guitar player, Chris Garza. Whoa. And I saw his page on fucking Facebook, and it wasn't even the band page, it was his personal on MySpace. I wrote him and I asked him, dude, what guitar is that? Da-da-da-da-da, whatever. Bro, like a day later, he goes, hey, what's up, man? Thanks for like listening. This is what I'm playing. And it was a Stephen Carpenter model 7-string.
The Ibanez?
The ESP.
ESP, Stephen? Oh.
You told me he blocked you.
No, I did. I'll show you my. He didn't block me. He didn't block me.
Stalker.
So then, full circle.
I wasn't
right?
expecting that.
So then he starts his own podcast, interviewing different members in his circle. He's lying. I'll show you the fucking chat, dude. I did not delete this chat. I ended up writing him because he interviewed Ross Robinson, who produced one of their records. Ooh. I wrote on his stories. I just commented like, dude, sick interview. Wrote back, thanks, man. I'm a big fan of this guy. Da 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 da. And I'm like, bro, like, I didn't even know what to write back, but I was like, yeah, because he did all these fucking great records that I love, and I listed them. He goes, bro, those are all solid. We went back and forth for like 2 days, just talking about shit because we're the same age.
Nice.
And I'm like,
you know what? You know why I'm worried about this motherfucker next to me on the stage? He's a stalking motherfucker, man.
Why do I gotta stalk you when you're right here, dude?
He's connecting. He's just connecting with the role models, and that's
no,
what
he
it's all
comes
about.
up next to me and rubs elbows and shit. I'm like,
because
what the fuck's wrong with you, man?
That's because you said you didn't want to rub elbows, so I gave you a little elbow
Hey, you know
rub
what?
before we start.
You know what? An elbow rubber is the difference between a comma on your paycheck.
What does that mean?
That's very true.
Meaning, like, somebody that knows how to talk to somebody would be the difference between you getting main stage or the side stage.
You're welcome.
In a show. In a show, like, you
Is
know,
that when
like,
my ass hurts?
but you know, it's just, it's amazing to me. Like, like I was just talking to somebody these days. You know, I'm talking about themes in my life these days. I've been having these themes that just show up day by day, and one of the biggest themes I've been having in my life the other day is opportunity and confidence. Right? You could line up 10 people in a fucking line and give them all an opportunity, and maybe 2 of them will actually make something out of it because they got the confidence to execute it.
If you're lucky. If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. And the thing is, but the confidence is the hard part because a lot of people at some point think they can't do it. And even if they can't, realizing that you can't will only fuck you up.
I think that's what the difference is when people nowadays, when they, like you said, like if you give 10 people the same opportunity and 2 of them make it, the other 8 don't, some people will want to scream, well, that's not fair. This shit wasn't equal. And it's like, wait a minute, you guys had people confuse equality and opportunity with shit being like,
but then
there's a difference. There's a difference between equality and equality of outcome and equality of opportunity. Not a shit ton of bands are gonna have the same opportunity, and some might, but it's about taking that advantage. And like we were talking about earlier. Like, I lost my train of thought, but
Opportunity and everybody get an opportunity.
what you were saying, we can give everybody the same opportunity, but that doesn't mean that everyone's gonna have the same outcome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because some people want it more than
That's life,
others.
Man. That's life.
Yeah,
What are you
dude.
talking
That's
about?
what that's with anything.
You can start something, try and have a good opportunity of something you're trying to believe in and everything else. But guess what? That shit can be taken away from you in one fucking split second. You have to just positively be there and just concentrate and be positive about it and do what you can. But you know what? You're always going to get negatives until you get that one positive. When you get that one positive, guess what? You just had a good show. That's it.
And you know, you brought up something important. You said the word taken from you. And at the end of the day, if you don't hold on to that shit, you know, like a tug of war, it will get taken from you, you know? And that's the thing, you know, like I look at I brought up Linkin Park earlier as a band. And to some people, they're such a goofy band, and they are in general, you know, because they got a DJ scratching in the back for whatever reason.
Who did it in the 2000s?
Who did it
though?
in the 2000s,
Who
right?
didn't?
And a
But
rapper.
as goofy as it may
MC.
be, right? Well, yeah, they had all that, you know. But you know, as goofy as it was, all those bands at the time, they were given an opportunity. They were given a stage to be on. They were like, all right, guys, do you guys want to be on Ozfest? It's Ozzy headlining the shit. Are you guys down to just be on the tour?
You guys
And they were
play at
like,
2
yeah.
p.m. You know?
Yeah,
yeah.
And guess what? You know, and at the time, yeah, I get it. Times were different too, but there were still crowds out there. They were still able to connect with people through their lyrics. And you know, here's a side question. So let's say that there's that 16, 17-year-old or younger kid who has, you know, got his first shitty guitar, doesn't know how to string it up yet, right? He's inspired. We all identified with the music we listened to growing up. That's the shit that we fell in love with. We were like, you know what? This guy's lyrics, these fucking riffs. That's how I feel today. What are they gonna? What is the 16-year-old gonna identify with Born Beneath's music? Like when they hear it, or is it music to say, "Fuck you, establishment"? Is it music to say, "I'm gonna better myself"?
Heart.
What is it?
Have heart. Have heart. Believe.
Yeah, we're not a political band. We're not a religious band.
Just have heart and believe in what you do, and just enjoy what you do and love what you do. That's all we do. That's all we do. We write songs. What we do in the studio, what we record, everything we do it because we love it. Nothing else.
Yeah, we don't have an agenda.
We don't have an agenda.
Strictly, we play what we like. We all happen to like heavy music, and we all happen to be, I think, decent at our instruments. So we all are decent songwriters and put that shit
Why'd you
together.
look at me?
By the way, for the record, I looked at him and emphasized the word decent.
I would inspire.
And you looked at
And
me.
I'm still looking at you right now. Look, is that on camera?
But I would love Born Beneath to inspire younger musicians, and I would love for us to make more music in this world. I would love for other people to hear us and hear other bands and everything. I mean, this whole culture of music, everything that's going in this world that's circulating. I want a kid to grow up. Listen, music saved my life. I mean, when kids were stealing fucking cars and doing all this shit and going to jail, you know what I was doing? I was in my fucking garage playing bass guitar.
Yeah, dude.
I was, you know, I mean, I think music, sports, anything that art, you know, painting, anything that takes a kid away from fucking this stupid fucking world that we live in, that makes them be creative, is the best thing in the world.
Yeah, man. I had a bunch of friends that I'm still pretty not tight with, but we talk. And when these guys were out fucking going partying, doing drugs and fucking and shit, I was busy fucking skateboarding and playing guitar. Like I was trying to learn like the next fucking Blink-182 song. I was trying to figure out how to play MXPX and shit. And it kept me busy to the point where I would hear my friends go, "We went to this fucking sick party, dude. We're so fucked up." And I'm like,
I learned to riff.
We
Check
do
this shit
that?
out.
Like
Yeah.
you guys do that now? But
Let's listen to Dude Ranch for the 4th time.
yeah, and that was me, dude. Like that was me all the time. Like I just loved getting home, plugging in my fucking amp, picking up my guitar, my bass, whatever I had at the time, and just playing along to all the records I knew how to play front to back. I would just sit down and play them, all of them, because I was just obsessed.
Well, you know, this is a very string instrument friendly room. So I will say that the first time I ever fell in love with the guitar was the first, you know, was the day that I hit my first chord on the guitar, fully tuned up.
The G chord.
It was the E minor.
E minor.
It was the E minor.
It's tough. It's a tough call. Those are my two favorites.
You know, it was the E minor. You know, and I tuned this bad boy. I had this guitar. I was 13. My mom and dad brought me a guitar, from Wally World, Walmart. And I was super happy with it.
Wally.
Yeah, I was stoked. I didn't know what to do with this thing. The strings were all loose. It wasn't tuned up. I would strum on it just to get the vibe right, but I knew it didn't sound right. Eventually, 9 months down the road, I realized you need a tuner for this thing. So I bought it. I went to Walmart, got a tuner. Shout out to Walmart for helping kids get their first.
Shout out to tuners, dude.
No, take that shout out back. They should have told you that when you first bought the guitar.
They should have.
Do you have a tuner, sir?
Yeah, facts, right? They should have. If only Walmart had dedicated.
That's an upsell missed opportunity.
I'll be honest.
Visit your local music
Not
store.
that they need the fucking money, but
Visit your local music store instead, guys. How about
I
that?
feel
mom and
for
pop
you
all the
because what I used to think tuning up was I would see like my friends like Guitar World magazine stack, and I would see where the position that the tuning pegs were in, and I would grab my bass or guitar and look at the pin and be like, all right, here's this
Just
turn.
make 'em straight.
Here's this turned like this, and then this one's turned like that, and this one's turned. And I'm like, now I'm in that band's tuning. I had no fucking idea. I'm like, this is why everything sounds like shit.
I feel you, bro.
That's cute.
It is adorable, actually. It's
Swear to
amazing.
God, dude.
It's that ignorant innocence that's just kind of
Teenagers, listen.
Swear
Okay,
to God, dude.
it's much more important to be a resoreful teenager.
You can
You
cut
never
that
heard
right
of
on the
440, right?
What is it?
Can you cut Danny's ignorance right now?
No.
That
I
was
don't want the
pretty
world to
fucking
know
dumb.
that.
In fact, I might make that.
If you don't cut,
it's so good.
if you don't cut
It's
that,
so
then
good.
he's gonna be cut from the band.
Oh man, dude.
Again, see, I got my real estate back.
Oh man.
Mike's rooting for that to happen.
Oh, yeah. Well, at the end of the day, it's like
Kick him out.
To me, that was the most fun part of learning riffs. Once I finally had this thing tuned up all the way. And then I hit that first chord, and you feel the resonance, you feel that vibration against your chest of the guitar. I was like, "Holy shit! This is a feeling that's irreplaceable. This is one of those feelings like riding the bike or
It just feels right.
skydiving and stuff.
You wanna go
It's
back
more than
to
that
it.
because you know what? When you learn to ride a bike, it's like anyone could learn. Right?
Dude, the first time
Whether
I-
it's quick or slow, but they'll learn. And when you do it, and you're like, all right, good, I learned how to ride a bike. I can get around. But when you play an instrument, there's two kinds of people that learn to play. It's either they were told to play, or they wanted to play. And then there's the 50% that they get a gift for Christmas. It's a guitar, and they might try to fucking tune it or look at it or hold it, and it goes into the closet. And they never touch it again, and it gets either sold on a garage sale or passed down to somebody else.
I buy all my guitars from those people.
Yeah, dude.
Good for you, because
Reverb is a hell of a drug, dude.
But then there's the other flip side of the coin where the other 50% they want to play, and they're usually maybe asking for the guitar in the first place, or once they get it, they're just learning. And now we have resources. At the time of this podcast, it's 2021, so YouTube is a fucking thing, dude.
Hello, year 3000.
Yeah. No, but when I started playing, I mean, this was 2000. It's been about 20 years now, 2001, and YouTube wasn't really a thing. So.
It wasn't, dude. I used to print. I didn't even have a printer. I was so broke. I didn't even have ink in my printer. I used to go to my buddy's house to print tabs from his printer and
Right.
take a big stack home. And
Wow.
I was so thankful that he would let me print stuff on his computer. So I would just print. I remember printing the whole Hybrid Theory album, printing the whole 311
All 6 pages.
Blue album. Yeah, facts, right? Just chords. And just the hardest part of the songs was tuning your guitar to the tuning. That was
Yeah.
about it. Besides that, it was just anyway. But but that was the beautiful stuff. To me, that first step, man. I'll never forget the day I bought my first guitar, man. Going to Sam Ash with my dad.
Yup.
And then the cool thing was our sales associate knew how to actually play.
Right.
Which helps selling a fucking guitar. So, we had this beginner guitar. It was a Brownsville. It was like a Strat.
Shout out to
Brownsville,
Brownsville.
Brownsville Strat.
I think everybody should know their first guitar they got.
Oh yeah.
I
Fuck
did.
yeah, man. What was everybody's first guitar? Let's go, Mike. Go ahead, brother.
I had a fucking Court Sunburst bass.
Court is amazing.
Court's
Shout
a
out to
great
Court.
brand.
Gangster,
Yeah.
dude.
They make really ergonomic
Court,
basses.
I think
Court probably made that guitar.
They come from the same factory.
Yeah.
I was like 11
World
years
music
old.
industries.
And
Yeah.
then I still had the same head. I had a Fender Bassman head with a 212 cab. I still have it's 2 tubes and the Fender Bassman. I still have that head to this day.
Congrats,
I
man.
had it when I was 10.
That's amazing.
But my chord, I tried to be like one of those spin the guitar around, and I broke the neck off.
On a bass?
On a bass, yeah.
How
Yeah,
tall
that's
are you,
why.
Mike?
I think I saw a rat or something
You-
play live, and they spun the guitar around their head. I'm like, oh, that looks
That's
cool.
harder on a bass because
What's that? Oh no, I broke the neck.
it's
right
tougher
off.
on a bass though because it's
So
such
I
a
lost
long
that
neck.
chord.
Oh,
So then
man.
my next bass
That
was a
shit probably
Music
just went
Man.
straight to the floor.
My next bass was a '69 Music Man Sunburst also.
Sweet, man. Music Man with the Stingrays?
Yeah, Stingray.
Those
yeah.
are fucking awesome.
Fucking cool.
And I had to sell that because I
great.
had no money. I was broke, so I
Bummer.
sold that, which I've never sell my guitars ever, but I had to sell that one because I was like on the streets.
Hard times, man.
Wait, whatever. I don't care. Everything was great. I mean, just that was my first guitar, was a Court bass.
Fuck yeah, man. That's what's up, man. Danny, man, first guitar, brother.
My first guitar, the first proper electric. 'Cause I had a bunch of shitty Toys R Us acoustics.
Sweet.
But
That's ambition.
I'll go
building.
It's two answers, right? I asked my dad for a guitar. He went to Sam Ash and bought like a $60 used Les Paul copy, a brand called Castilla, and I was like, this is fucking ripping, dude. A little 15-watt front.
I'm not, but I'm excited about the name. Castle.
It's a little 15-watt Fender fucking practice amp that you push the button.
The
and all of a
front
sudden-
man?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Fuck yeah.
That one was cool, but it wasn't until my buddy Alex gave me his Kramer Aerostar ZX10.
Woo.
Red as fuck.
Is that the Strat style shape?
Yeah, single pickup.
Sick. Oh,
Hockey stick fucking head,
The head style.
with a little
Whammy
whammy
bar.
bar. Yeah. And
Gnarly.
that's when I was like, this is a fucking cool guitar. And I thought it was badass. He's like, here, you can just take it. And I was like, because his parents bought him like a dope ass Washburn, Floyd and shit or whatever. So
Nuno?
he gave me that guitar and I took it home and I just felt inspired, like by just grabbing it. Because it was like, dude, a friend gave this to me. It means more for some reason.
I'm with you, man.
So to this day, I still have that guitar.
Hey.
To this day, I still have that guitar. And my buddy gave it to me. It had a bunch of fucking skate stickers on it from Shorties and Blindside and all this shit. And
I missed that shit.
oh, dude, that guitar has a long story. Where I gave it away, and then it somehow came back around, and I got it back 10 years later.
Nope.
Nice.
Can you tell us that story like really quick?
Oh,
really
it's such
quick?
a long story,
No,
dude.
It's gonna take like
R1.
another hour.
Part two. Part two.
I'm gonna need
Part
to
two.
buy
It's such a long story.
Yeah, part two.
Next episode, we're gonna get this one.
It's such a long story.
It's a
bro.
3-hour story. You know?
It's not a 3-hour story.
It was when you told me.
I'm already crying.
We were
right
drunk when I told it to you, and I was pretty sure I cried a little bit when I was just looking at it. And
Oh,
he's like, "Can we go
Christ.
eat now?" And
It's
I'm like,
amazing.
Tearjerker, man. Tearjerker, man.
That's
We don't
amazing. All right, episode 2, folks. That's.
All right, next.
Yes, feel
What's
free.
your
Renee,
first
my
guitar?
man, first guitar.
Oh, my guitar. Yeah. Okay.
It was a big piece of shit.
No. Hey, you know what? What? Fuck you. Look. No, my first guitar was an acoustic classical that everyone gets. I guess,
Sweet.
or just like this guy said.
I wish I had a classical to start on.
Yeah, but it didn't last long.
Oh.
I quickly got my first electric, which was a Squier Bullet,
Hey!
worth $100 from Guitar Center.
Sweet.
And it was one of those packs where it's like, you know, the guitar with the
You
little
got the
tiny
amp and
10-watt amp. 10-watt amp, the
I love
cheapest
it.
strap
I
that
love it.
exists.
I love it.
How old were you?
The cheapest
I'm sorry, I'm doing
picks.
an interview now.
Yeah.
No, go for it.
How old
The
were you?
cheapest
This was, I'll tell, look, like I mentioned it
0.50?
earlier. I've been playing 20 years, so this was the year 2001.
Easy, buddy.
Hey.
Easy.
I got mine in 03, so yeah, we're right around the
14,
same time.
13 or 14.
Sick, man.
Yeah, I get, in the grand scheme of things, though, that's considered kind of late. A lot of people start playing. I've
when
noticed.
they're like 6 and stuff, right?
I've noticed a lot of musicians that end up playing as long as we have, all of us in this room, I guess. Like, all of us. Like, it's usually they started at 8, 10, 12, you know? Like, I feel like at 13 or 14, I was already behind the curve.
Yeah.
But
I used to pretend like I hated music when I was a kid. I don't know why I used to.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Like
No,
my
no,
parents,
not me, man.
Like my parents for like a couple of years actually thought I didn't like listening to music. I think it was because they used to put me on the spot because I think I used to like recite songs. I used to sing back.
Yeah.
And I think they used to be like so interested, I would get like shy about it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd be like, "Don't listen to me. I hate this shit."
you have the voice we
Intimidation's a
never
motherfucker.
had.
Intimidation's a really strong thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I mean, growing up too, playing as a kid, I mean, I would see all these people. I'm like, man, they're playing so good. Intimidation, but you know what? That made me stronger. That made me want to learn more. That made me want to be as good as them. You know, so, but yeah, it's not easy. I mean, it's a psychological kind of thing. It's like, I'm not good enough. I can't, you know, you're like, I gotta go see a fucking psychiatrist. I can't fucking play bass like these motherfuckers.
What's
are.
wrong
But,
with me?
but I never did. You know what I did? I just concentrated. I kept practicing. I kept playing. I kept doing and playing with people and learning from other musicians and gathering all that information. And that's where I'm at today.
Hey,
I
man.
mean, you know, it's a learning.
I want to emphasize
But
the whole
very hard.
resource thing again because
Please do.
It's look. I mean,
That's everything.
if
actually.
I can be so bold,
Yes.
I'm
Be
even
bold.
I'm
Be
even
bold,
younger
man.
than my string counterparts. Not
Eat
by,
barbecue
not by
sauce?
too much. But dude, when I was learning, it's literally like. What was it? GuitarTabs.net.
Ultimate Guitar.
Ultimate Guitar. Yeah, all those.
I still
like,
subscribe to that place. Dude.
I had
Yeah,
a
but see, that's the
bookmark.
next generation. They listen to all these tabs and shit.
Yeah,
See,
exactly.
I
That's-
grew up
well,
just learning and playing.
Listen
from
to the
ear.
record. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
exactly.
Slowing it down.
By
These,
ear,
these
yeah.
youngins, all like
Yeah, if you're
tablets
shitting
are-
on like the current gen, it's like we still had it kind of easy.
Yeah,
I
you,
guess.
you
We did.
newbies, man.
No, but I remember. Look,
You don't know soul.
There's numbers.
I remember trying to learn the Ride the Lightning solo from Metallica, and
Man.
I pulled up the tab, and the whole,
tablature. I told you.
the
So
whole,
good.
yeah,
I love it. I can't help it.
They scapegoat of
that's my
fucking being
Bible,
easy.
Hey, wait, I wouldn't read sheet music. I still don't. By the way, fun fact, I can't. I don't know theory.
It would take me forever. I can do it, but it would take me so long. It would take me so long. It would take me long because I have to actually look at the staff and be like FACE
Yeah,
face.
face.
Yeah, no,
Every good.
boy does fine.
Every good boy does
fine.
I have to, and then once you see like the stuff that's below middle C,
When
you're
you
like,
drop
oh
A,
fuck.
When you drop A,
Yeah.
it's like
the bass
assholes
clip?
are among.
I remember
Yeah, it changes
my
everything.
first long term goal was like I'm gonna learn the Ride the Lightning solo.
Sick. Well, on the Squire Bullet.
Yeah, exactly. I had the Squire Bullet, and
Sick.
then I noticed, by the way, like I'm pointing right now to Avazar's S470. I had an S370, which was
Whoa.
my second guitar after the Bullet.
Love
My
it.
So
second
to me,
guitar.
that was like the biggest of upgrades, and I didn't even know what to
The
do
neck
with
is
it.
just fantastic, isn't it?
Thin, and I got the Floyd Rose, which
Ibanez.
I hate. I think I paid people
Sponsor
to
me.
change the strings in the beginning.
Did you?
Yeah, because it's a headache and a half. That's why I don't play Floyds now to this day. I think I like low maintenance guitars.
I got a cool. I'll show you something later.
So, but the point is, I was like excited because I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna get a better guitar. I'm gonna
Fuck
keep
it.
playing and get better. And I felt like I'm in it to win it,
Mm-hmm.
But then I remember the first short term, like long term goal was also Ride the
Ride
Lightning.
the
solo.
Lightning.
And I see this fucking tablature, and it's like, oh, okay, I could do the first 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and then
Cheating.
what is this? What is this? All right, I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to emulate that, and then yeah, I think to this day I still can't play it, just because I haven't like finished learning it, but. That was the building blocks, and then
Well-
it became like Megadeth, and then it became
well,
Slayer and all.
Fun tidbit, I learned a year ago about Master of Puppets, for example, right? We grew up learning all those riffs and tabs and all the solos.
You're
and
gonna
stuff.
talk about the down picking, right? Yeah.
Well, no, I was going to talk about the fact it's actually the song is sped up. The tape is sped up a little bit.
What?
Yeah, that's why his voice sounds a little chipmunky. It's actually sped up for effect. It's sped up to make it sound more badass and just like.
I'm not sure I know what you're talking
So
about.
they
I'm gonna have to
recorded
Google
it.
that.
Yeah.
They recorded it. I don't know if you guys follow Rick Beato on
I
YouTube.
do follow Rick Beato.
I learned that from Rick Beato.
He did.
Yeah,
Is it
he
Make
did
It Sound
Master of
Great
Puppets.
series?
He did Master of Puppets.
I don't.
yeah.
No, I know what you're saying, and it's not that it's sped up. It's that the guitars are not in 440. They're in like 442.
Oh.
So they're slightly sharp, ever so slightly sharp. That's why if you play a song like Master of Puppets or even One, because they did it on Injustice,
It doesn't sound perfect.
It doesn't sound right, and you're like, I'm out of tune. It's no, you're in the E standard. It's just that they are ever
That's just
so
the guitar playing
slightly
saying
sharp.
they can't fucking play it right.
I'm a big
That's
Joe.
all.
I'm a big Joe Satriani fan. He's my favorite guitar player, and
Absolutely. Well, he taught fucking Eddie Van Halen. He taught
Steve
me.
Vai.
and Kirk Hammett. Ironically, we were talking about
Right.
Metallica,
Yeah.
and he has a song called "Lords of Karma." I tried, and he recently
Off of Surfing with the Aliens.
off of surfing, and he recently released the stripped album, which is just all the solos off, and you can just play along with the backing tracks.
That's
And
really
it's-
cool.
It was so fucking cool, and
would
so
do
I
that.
just I picked up my Strats so quick. he doesn't play Strats, but whatever, fuck it. And
Close
man,
enough.
and I was trying to play along with the song, and I was like, why is this? And I had to check myself if I was out of tune so many times, and in reality, I was like, oh, his guitar is either out of tune
It's
or
flat.
it's sped up.
No,
to be.
isn't it flat? I think he's flat.
He
though.
was sharp.
He's sharp.
Yeah,
Satriani? I
in
thought it was-
Lords of Karma, try to play Lords of Karma in tune, and you'll notice it's like too sharp.
He might
It's
be
like
sharp. He
really
might be-
weird.
Yeah, he might step sharp.
That's like
He might-
Megadeth for Peace Sells and So Far So Good So What. Only
Right.
those the second and third albums they are slightly flat.
I don't get it.
It's
so I
not
don't
sharp,
know if
slightly
is
flat.
it slow down? Is it sped
It's
up?
the same thing with fucking Pantera, dude. You try to play
Yeah,
Pantera,
exactly.
you're not.
Cowboys from
You're
Hell.
not in fucking.
You're not dialed in.
You're-
That's
You'll
why
never
it's
be
best to play your
perfectly
own
in pitch.
goddamn songs and
It's-
write your own songs and not have
Jesus.
to worry about being recording and being in tune.
Mike,
to anybody
please, these
else.
are our influences.
No covers.
Yeah,
Original.
I remember when I tried to play Walk, man. Like I had the tab for it and I learned it because I've heard the song so many times. I was like, cool, I'm gonna play along to the song. That first, I was like, what the fuck is this, dude? Okay, I'm in drop. I'm in the drop tuning. I'm right where I need to be.
Why does Dime sound
Why does
off?
it sound so fucking off? And then later on, you find out, oh, it's because they're like in 430 or some shit, like almost in between half and a standard. So it's, but if we're not gonna get into it now, but if you really want to Google,
I think Van Halen
if you want to find out why all music nowadays is written in 440, Google that shit. It's gonna blow your mind
Compared to 432?
compared to 432. Yeah,
That's a big difference.
Why not
It's-
just be original?
it's fucking.
And not worry
it's
about
sick.
who else
It's sick. There's a
anybody
whole.
plays.
There's conspiracy behind it.
Well, you know what it is? You know what, Mike, real quick, man, I'll tell you the reason why people trip over it, brother, it's because there are people out here with perfect pitch.
Yeah.
And the people with perfect pitch, the problem with them is that they will hear a note. You know how like earlier I did the Paul Gilbert shit?
Yep.
And there are people like that are. You didn't walk into the room at that moment. There's a Paul Gilbert song we listened to earlier.
Scarified?
It's called Curse of the
Technical difficulty.
Curse of the Castle Dragon.
Oh,
it's on a later album, Get Out of My Yard, and he hits a bum note, and you hear it so clearly.
Yeah, you played that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so there's people that feel that way about stuff that sounds perfectly in tune. There are people that are like, you could have just tuned it up 3 to 4 cents, and it would have been.
I'm a firm believer,
Record it
though.
again.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer
But
that
we
you're
don't
always
do
your
that,
worst
though.
enemy.
We don't do that as far as we're drop A.
You don't need to.
And everything. I mean, we collaborate with every chord, everything. I mean, I don't know. I think what we're writing and everything. Listen, he gets mad at me because I never follow him. I don't.
Well, let's not say
I-
never, because I know the songs was like
Well,
shit. But I mean, there's.
But I mean, we follow each other. We write everything. But he gets mad at me sometimes. He's like, you should just keep doing this. I'm like, no, I don't want to. So.
No, I don't.
But I
feel
mean,
like
but
it.
it collaborates and it comes. I mean, we create it together. We work together, and it collaborates together. And I think every member of the band, the drums, the bass, the 2 guitars now, and the singer. I mean, it all has. It
Still feels weird to say
It
that.
all has to be together. It all has to be together. It doesn't matter. You can have a guitar and a drum playing great, or a bass and a drums playing great. But if everything doesn't coincide with each other and doesn't just make it the full sound that we're looking for, we don't play it. But we write this and it comes out the way we like it. We love it and we work hard on it, and it's it. I mean, it becomes
That's all it needs.
a beautiful song.
Like I think that what's really cool, which I got into over the past year, is the different bands that make different tunings work to the point where, if you try to play their shit, you're like, what the fuck is dadgad? You know what I mean? Like, what kind of dadgad tuning is that? And then you realize the intervals in between it. But then
I hate that.
I love the crazy ass tuning. Like the first band I got into early on that has a weird fucking tuning is Google Dolls. No,
Yeah,
I
do.
I love.
Isn't Iris?
Really?
I fucking.
Isn't Iris like
I-
CCCGCC?
I love Google Dolls, and if you look at their song
I knew
Iris,
it.
and you look at the acoustic parts, like there's the bass is in E standard, there's an electric guitar in E standard,
It's like C, C,
but
C,
when you
C,
look
G,
at the
C.
acoustic, it's like almost like this obscure open C with one high E, and you're like, the fuck is that? But dude, you listen to that song, and it's a beautiful song. But
sounds
that's
He was
amazing.
fired. I
but,
told you he's fired.
but that's
He's
but
fired
that's
as a guitar player right
hold
now.
on, bro. But this goes back to your point, because that's a tuning that they use, and it's like that's our tune. We play our songs on that.
You could say the same thing about
right,
Mark
I'll-
Tremonti.
But
from
I
Creed.
like them.
He
him
plays in
too.
some weird ass tunings, and
But-
they write good songs. Like
But dude, underrated guitar player. But the fact that he can just be
he
like,
gets a lot of flag for being.
but the fact that he can just go like,
Tape.
I don't know these strings. I need to do a weird chord I have in my head, so I'm just gonna adjust this, wank, and then drops a whole and a half step, and it's like, that's the chord I want to hear.
I'm all
And
the
then
way
now
with it.
that song is in that tuning, and that shit to me is rad. Like,
I'm all the way with it.
play your own shit, right? Like,
you
That's why
say-
Dan
would
has
you
that
say
stupid pedal
bad
where he
rap?
hits it and it drops fucking lower.
oh yeah, dude.
He's like, dude,
I
I
use-
You
don't
have a
I don't
drop
have to
D
tune my
pedal?
guitar
I have a
down.
drop
I can just
pedal.
hit this pedal.
I have
Thanks,
a- I have
Mike.
a
Thanks
pick-
for
I have a-
exposing.
Fuck that pedal.
I have a.
Thanks for
I don't give a
exposing
fuck, dude.
Danny.
I have a
That's so
pitch.
cool.
Pedal sucks.
I have a
It does
pitch
suck.
shifter. Hey, how many times do you guys have to switch guitars? I don't.
I used to have I
least
used to
we're
have
keeping it
a.
I don't do shit. You know what I do? I push a button. Boom.
Yeah, good. All right.
And now I'm
Get
in-
some
now
basics
I'm in-
It's the
later.
gayest button I ever heard
Now-
in my life.
I used to have a
love that
Strat. I used
shit.
to have a Strat with a drop D tuner on it.
Oh,
That's
the hip
cool.
shots.
That's cool.
That's rad.
It was cool.
That's
And
rad.
it
It's an
worked.
Ibanez, right?
It was a Mexican Strat Deluxe that somebody had installed. The dude was from Nashville and he recorded all this country stuff. It was
Fuck
amazing.
yeah, dude.
I got the guitar for $350. It was an amazing deal. And he had a drop D tuner installed on it and was like, "Yeah, man, sometimes on those country tunes it just gets kind of crazy. So you just got to drop tune." And that it was a hip shot drop D tuner, and
what
that
I'm
thing
saying.
it worked so
You
perfect.
did it once, and you're like, "Holy shit, goddamn, this."
Holy
really does
goddamn!
work.
I'm about to fucking fly. I'm flirting with disaster, baby.
He heard it go, "Boom," and he's like, "Damn, this is heavy as buzz, this is heavy as shit, boys."
I sound like Black Sabbath.
I'm about to get some of them chuggy chugs.
It's
These
a
boys
drop.
talking about.
Just dropped my accent too. Holy shit! Holy goddamn! I just
Dude, listen, you could write one country song and make millions and millions of dollars.
the country.
Talk
Okay,
about your trouble.
Country
Your
makes
beer, your
more.
wine.
Country music makes more money than anything in the fucking world.
That's
You can write
so
one
true, bro.
stupid country. And I'm a country boy. I'm born and raised in Miami, but
Fluky.
my family's from Georgia and Dalton, Georgia, and everything. I'm telling you, country music, man. You write one good country song, at least you can get started.
You
to
know
make
what
a
it
metal
is?
band after that.
country music. I listen to country music recently.
I like
Recently,
country
it's
music.
it's
I
so
love
much. It's so similar to rap to me because
That's what.
because
That's
the
what you
way
get. That's bro country, dude.
the way
That's what it is. It's bro
because,
country.
because the way they name drop, dude. The way they name drop, it's like hip hop,
Who
where
do
they
they
talk
name
about
drop?
they talk about their Murcielago Lamborghini. Nowadays, it's like I got my Ford pickup truck,
It
got
broke
my
down. It
I've
broke
got
down.
my Chevy with its 8D
I got my
Carolina stacks.
Eddie Bauer
And
F-150.
44 pack Bud Light.
Well, my yeah.
3500 Ram Cummins in the front, got a tailgate
Yeah.
down.
equipped.
I only play Telecasters until I'm in the studio.
You
Then
just
I play
wrote- You just
PRS.
wrote a
Like my
country
man
song
Brad
right now, man.
Paisley.
You can make $1 million in that one country song you just wrote right now.
It's fantastic. Like,
But you left out. You left your dog. Your dog ran away.
You didn't,
Dogs.
You didn't let me get there though.
we didn't talk about
man.
mud. We didn't
We
talk
didn't
about.
let me get there,
We didn't
man.
talk.
Your mom getting run over by a train.
mentioned trucks and
We need more three-letter words. We need dog. We need mud. We need
Dog, mud.
We need bud.
Child support. That's too many. That's too many.
We need beer without an E, so bird.
Just a bunch of sick, like
We need.
just
vanity plate.
Well, that's a NASCAR.
Oh yeah, NASCAR. We could turn it into a three-letter word, baby. Why not? You know.
NAS
NSC.
and car.
there goes the mice.
NSC is NASCAR.
Holy
There
shit.
goes the mouse.
Say we're halfway through, folks.
What else you want to talk about, bud?
Well, I mean, you know, I would love to ask you guys about what's coming in the future for Born Beneath. I know there's a new album in the works. I know that there's live performances in the works.
Yeah.
Is there a video in the works? Or we have a music video coming?
There's an
I
idea.
fucking hope
for-
so.
We're gonna have something.
Yeah, there's ideas for videos for sure. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna let a cat out of the bag. I'm dying to work with a band to make a music video. So if you guys ever want to get together to work on one, you know, let's talk and do one because like I'm really down to do it. I'm working on Eros One's next video. That's a spoiler alert.
Oh shit!
Shut
That's
up.
fucking
Let's talk.
cool.
So
Yeah.
that's in the works now. We started talking about it last week. It's a thing that's just it started happening.
That's
so
so
as soon as
rad.
I
Shout out to
tackle that,
Eros.
if you guys are down to tackle the next one,
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely, man.
let's
Thank
all
you.
do it. Yeah, man, it'd be super fun. And I just I don't know, man. Let's just make some really fun looking things. So what's in the future for Born Beneath, guys?
We have a show on the 19th of this month, which is cool.
Black Flamingo.
This is our Black Flamingo. It's gonna be Silent Mara, God Rot, Hate Machine, who
Outbreak.
maybe some
Coming
people
back.
may or may not have heard of Hate Machine. So it's gonna be a fun ass time. You know, things are starting to kind of get back to normal, and we've already had I think 3 shows before this year. So 2021's already proven to be so much cooler.
Yeah, man. The out. You can tell that people really are ready to come back out, bro.
Yeah.
'Cause
They're
it's,
dying.
It's fucking.
We have to.
The first show that I played with them was in February at Propaganda up in Lake Worth, and let me tell you, man, the fact that people were even out there, because that was the first show I had gone to in like a year, and people were there, like we just want to hear live music. The love is out there, dude. People want to hear and see performances, man.
And
It's
that was
ready.
that was over 2 months ago. Too.
Yeah.
Which
February.
let's get real. In the last 3 months, a lot has happened. You
So much,
A lot has
yeah.
changed. So
much.
Again, to date this podcast, it's now 2021.
Hell
And it's dude, for real. People fucking want to go out. People want to go to shows. People miss live music, and not just the bands. It's a bunch of other artists and just regular ass people.
I'm just being drunk around really loud guitars.
Yeah.
There's something
Yeah.
about really loud amps that just does it for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing else will scratch that
I
itch.
just want to hear that. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I
to
want
answer
them
your question, yeah, we got the show on the 19th. We're looking forward to that. Pompano Beach, Black Flamingo. Please make it if you can. And then after that, we just have a song that's already being mastered and will be released soon with a video way before the end of the year. I want to say maybe high hopes would be September. Yeah. September, and then Newborn Beneath album early 2022.
Early 2022, man. That's exciting. Guys.
Because those new songs exist and we play them live.
Yeah, we're just
But
we're
there's-
almost in the phase of getting into the studio and recording these new songs. We might need one more new song, but we got pretty much everything ready.
That's exciting, man. I'm so happy, man. And you know, I appreciate you guys coming onto the show, guys. You guys have one of the best sounds I've heard in such a long time. You know, and I'm so glad that you guys are local because that means I get to, you know, be lazy and get to see you guys 20, 30 minutes away from me, which just, you know, I have a hard time traveling because blah, blah, blah. So I love knowing that you guys are close to me and I can get to hang out and see you guys whenever you guys want. I hope to get all you guys a beer at the next show.
Yeah, dude.
And thank you so much for being on the show, guys. Always a pleasure. Born Beneath, folks. Check them out on Spotify. Check them out on what other music platforms are you guys on?
Everything. Yeah, Spotify, Pandora, YouTube,
Google, Born Beneath, Tremors.
literally everything.
Yes.
You'll find it.
Whatever your platform is, just Born Beneath.
So streaming, folks.
Just don't write porn beneath.
Thank you.
We got some weird hits.
Oh, man.
That's amazing. I didn't even think of that one. I should have thought of that one.
Some glass table shit, huh?
Hey, man. Well, in the meantime, folks, Renee, Danny, Mike, have a great rest of the night, folks. In the meantime, folks, love, peace, chicken grease. Look both ways before you cross the street. Have a great rest of the night, folks. Peace.
Thank you for having me.